Hey everybody, it's me. How you doing? We're going to do 2 hours of the gardening show right now. I know it's kind of like last minute, but the reason being is because I'm not going to be here next week. I got some stuff going on. So I have a very special guest with me in the studio today, and well, she was here. She's taking care of some business right now, right? No embarrassing her. Gee, people are ruthless. That's what I tell you. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a gardening show. So go ahead and stay tuned. We will not have any music. We will not have anything going on at this particular moment. So just you can listen to our banter when she comes in. She came from a very far away land. If you want to call in and listen to her and talk to her, she's actually with the Irrigation Association. So, and there's some very exciting things that have happened with the Irrigation Association. So we're really looking forward to that. So it's really kind of a cool thing. So kind of hang in there, would you? I really appreciate that. Irrigation Association. Hey, wait, I got to turn all this off. All right, we got Steve. Hey, Stopa, how you doing, buddy? Omid. Yes, today my guest here, Omid, her name is not Brittany. So I hate to tell you that. You realize we're going to write that on your tombstone whenever that happens, right? Oh, I feel like I'm getting all embarrassed over here. Okay. Well, we have somebody from Australia watching us right now. So yeah. You can say hi to Omid. We got somebody from Fresno. We got somebody from the Inland Empire. So we have exciting. This is a happening place, I tell you. Okay, so I need to do some posting right here. So let me get this done real quick. Sure. Facebook.
I love it. Are you able to tag my magazine there? Or
oh, okay. Did you hear what she said? Did you hear that? Oh man, here I thought I was a horrible media person. She's got me beat. Yeah, let's do this. Let's tag you.
What time does your clock say?
I am at 53. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25, 28, 29, 30. You good? 35, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then if you could, whenever you have a little bit, we'll hold the calls for a bit. And then if you could nab her phone so you can get a couple of pictures with us.
That's what I was just going to ask.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, so what we're going to do is this. Let's do this. It's that time. Okay, what is your...
It should be...
IGIN?
No, it should be Irrigation and Green Industry.
Irrigation.
I think you got it there.
Oops, irrigation.
Right there.
Look at you. Okay, so we're going to do this. This, we're going to go like that.
Oh, there I am.
Okay, yeah. And we're going to publish this. So we're going to go there. And then we're going to go here. We're going to do this instead. That's for Facebook, Nick Federoff. And we're going to go right here. Usually what I do is I reboot my computer.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't have a chance to. It's amazing how that when we plan this, well, it's been 2 weeks already?
Mm-hmm.
A week or something that we plan this? You think I'd be ready.
You think
it's horrible. Never ready, never prepared. Okay, so what we're going to do is this. We're going to come home. We're going to go to groups.
At least you have some idea, what you're doing here.
Yeah. I mean, it's really no big deal for me.
Wondering what I'm going to talk about for the next 2 hours.
Well, we're going to have. You're going to be saying. See, so this is a group that I'm an administrator on. That's on the university.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So we're going to take this. We're going to do that. and pop this. So, and I actually didn't do a whole lot of press for this. So, and then, oh, you know what we'll do? Let's do this.
We can put my name on it too. If you
want. Oh, yeah,
I have a Facebook under Kristin Smith-Ely. I don't know if it's that exactly.
Kristin?
Yeah, KristinSmithEly. Let's see if it comes up anyways. Oh, that's me.
Look at you. Okay, I don't know if I want to do this one.
You're not my friend, it looks like.
See how you are?
That's why. I don't know if that's why.
That's what it is. All right, go ahead and
need you accept your friend request?
be nice to me.
Okay.
If you would.
I will.
And then, let's do this. Over here. See, this is how it works, folks. You get somebody to come into your office, and then you force them to be friends with you, and that's how your audience grows. Think about that.
The only thing is, I need to
You need to get on the wireless?
sign out. No, hold on.
You could do
I need to
that.
log out of my. I have two Facebook accounts. You know, one for personal, one for business.
Hey, Daniel, how's it going, bud?
There we go. And
So Daniel is from Panama.
Oh.
Green. The new green is brown. It is not. The new green is green. There's never any brown in green. Jeff. How would you, Jeff? Okay, you're the tree dude, man. How would you like to have brown trees? Huh? Yeah, not going to happen, buddy. It's green. We'll teach you that it's not about not using water. It's about strategically placing it. Water is our friend.
it is.
I like that one.
That was good.
Yeah, you like
Who
that?
are you talking to?
Yeah, whoever's on there.
Oh, okay.
See, somebody wrote it over here. So we already got comments coming in.
Okay. Is it okay if I
Yeah,
get on this side of the table?
Yeah,
I wasn't sure.
This is Jess Davidson. The new green is brown. No, it's not.
What does that even mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
I don't want to know what that means.
So you have a friend in Australia. Dude, you're my only friend in Australia. Of course, I got a lot of relatives over there, so what am I supposed to say? The mist contraption covers your guest mic. She's sitting. Okay. He wants to. He doesn't like this. He wants to see your pretty.
Oh.
And then I'm playing up.
I didn't know I was going to be, people were going to see me.
Okay. Well, okay. You can actually just stay right there. It's just harder for when you and I end up talking.
Oh, yeah.
That's all.
Well,
That's all.
okay.
That's okay.
Okay.
You can stay there. See, and now it looks like we're really close together.
Oh, yeah.
See that? Oh, look at it. My bald spot is showing. I promised I'd start wearing a hat. Okay, so we have that.
I did accept you.
Okay, good. That means all I'm going to do is this.
Do you feel accepted?
I feel you have no idea. You have no idea. We forgot to do for each one of these things. I forgot to go like this. Add irrigation. You have to do it each time.
Oh, I see.
That's all right. I'm going to post this bad boy here. All right. Okay, put there. I wanted to put a couple more places. We're gonna go. I have some. See these guys. There's 2 or 3. These guys are.
Nick Federoff on gardening is just around the corner. Get your pen and paper ready to write down telephone numbers, notes, and website addresses. Today's program is brought to you in part by Sustainable Environmental Education, csunline.org, Marathon Sod, Southern California's most popular sod, Bonide. Get your app at bonide.com. Super Thrive with 50 vitamins and hormones. Now call in with your question, 1-800-405-NICK.
As host of America's most listened to radio gardening show, you can imagine our telephone lines are always jammed during the program. That's why gardening expert Nick Federoff decided to open his telephone lines 24/7. Call 1-800-405-NICK. That's 1-800-405-6425. Leave your name and number and we'll call you back during the week. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-405-NICK to get your gardening questions answered by Nick Federoff.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Yeah, hi. I'd like to report a bear sighting.
Location?
In the woods, just outside of town.
Oh, not surprising. You've got your home. Bears have theirs.
Yeah, but see, this wasn't just any bear. This bear was wearing jeans and a hat, as in Smokey Bear.
Jeans and a hat. That's definitely Smokey. What exactly did he have to say?
Well, we were about to head home, after having a bonfire.
Oh, I can guess where this is going.
Right. See, Smokey told me the fire wasn't actually out. He said if it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave.
That's true. Did you know that 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans? That means 9 out of 10 wildfires can be prevented.
Wow, no kidding?
I'm a forest ranger. We never kid.
Sorry.
That was a joke.
Oh.
Get your Smokey on. If you see someone in danger of starting a wildfire, step in and make a difference, because 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans. Brought to you by Smokey Bear, the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Yeah, no, that's when we had the whole contraption up.
Can prevent wildfires.
Arty, mateys. Welcome to the ocean. I've sailed the 7 seas 100 times and found something I like even more than me treasure. 'Tis the ocean. Beautiful and... Right now, I'd be sailing with a Great Barrier Reef. It just shivers me timbers thinking of all the fish and coral below me. Wait, what's that floating by? The plastic bag! By Blackbeard's eye patch, that's disgusting. Why did you know that many of these things come from folks throwing them carelessly on the ground? It'd be true. Lend us a hand by always recycling and disposing of your trash properly. Boys, get the plank ready. Somebody's got to dive in and get that bag. Any volunteers? All right, fine. I'll do it myself. Cannonball! Find out what you can do to help keep the oceans healthy at keepoceansclean.org.
Hey, Omid, we're Americans over here, buddy. We don't speak Australian. Speak English to me.
If you're an entrepreneur or business person, you know that without advertising, a terrible thing happens. Nothing. Increase your local, national, or worldwide sales by advertising right here on Adrenaline Radio. We have a sales rep that can custom tailor a campaign that will benefit both you and your business. Call 562-945-6469 before your competition does. That's 562-945-6469. Yeah, adrenalineradio.com.
Not too long ago, I was featured in Fortune magazine, and it had nothing to do with gardening. The article was on computers, of all things. With this in mind, I want to direct you to thingsgreen.com, a marriage of computers and gardening. At thingsgreen.com, you'll find gardening information, audio files, gardening supply links, and other helpful information. So give it a whirl and see how this gardener incorporates your favorite hobby with the information highway on thingsgreen.com.
All right, I got something to say. Now listen, I'm giving these weeds a little attention. I'm going to make this garden grow. Inspired by Nick Federoff. All it takes is a rake and a hoe. So tune in every weekend on your radio dial. This pot of dirt that is infertile will soon become fortified. Your time will not be wasted, and I can tell you why. What used to be a barren patio is now the envy of my neighbor's eye. Nick gives you so many lectures on being good, being bad,
and it's just so appropriate.
Awakened. Hey, you realize you've been had. So tune into this comic gardener to a guy by the name of Nick. You'll wonder how a guy so crazy can heal a plant so quick. This is becoming too ironic. I think I'd better go. I can talk all day about Nick Federoff. However, he told me to watch my plants grow.
Tony, welcome to the program. How you doing?
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Fantastic. What's going on?
It sure sounds like it. Boy, I was in a bummer mood till I started listening to you, so thanks for that, because I'm on my way into work.
I love your show. I think it's fantastic. I have kids, and we just sit around the breakfast table and listen to you every Saturday morning. I even gave up my other radio, which I won't mention. It's another station. I don't think you're familiar with it, but I gave it up, and I really love that one, but I love you more. Don't tell them over there because I'm pretty dedicated.
You have converted us to gardening. I have to tell you that very honestly. And we really enjoy listening to the program, and that's why I'm calling right now.
Hello, everybody. This is Nick Federoff on Gardening, and welcome to America's most listened to radio gardening show of its kind. Thank you very much. Pat yourself on the back and get ready for some information and ideas for the beginning and seasoned gardener, where we help you out with whatever's on your gardening mind. That would be nice. See that? You see what she just did? Oh, this is awesome. She realized I didn't have my headphones, and should we say that? Can you untangle some of this over here, please? Yeah, we have a in studio special guest over here visiting with us, and looking forward to talking with her. You can put those headphones on. It makes it a little bit more official when you do this. Now, can you hear me okay, or can you barely hear me, or
I can barely hear you.
Okay, so I'm going to turn it up a little bit. Tell me when it's too loud. Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. If your ears start blowing off, then throw those headphones down. I'm telling you, okay? Because you never know what can happen. It's the whole reason why my beard's so long. I forget to take my headphones off. That sound gets so loud, and then it just comes right out this way. So I listen to a lot of stuff. So you're gonna have to talk real close into the microphone over there when it does happen. When we end up talking with you. Hi.
How's this for you?
That works.
Okay.
That works really well. Okay, in fact, you know what? Let's make it more comfortable for you. We're going to go like this so you can see me while we're talking. How's that? Is that a little better?
I have to see you?
You don't have to see me. But kind of makes the conversation going a little bit better like this.
This is good.
I got another room over there I can stick you in if you want. Yeah, it's piped in over here. That is the golden voice of Kristin Smith-Ely. Why do you put the dash?
It's pretty recent. I just got married in August, so
you're a newlywed.
I am.
Wow!
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Do you like the guy?
Enough. I hesitated there. Oh my God, I love him. He's awesome.
Well, good for you. Yeah. Okay. Now I have been hitched for 36 years. Should I tell you all the pluses and minuses?
How much time do we got, Nick? Hopefully the pluses outweigh the minuses.
Let me see if my wife is listening right now. It's a great institution. And I've been married to the same person the whole time as well.
That's amazing, especially in this,
in
this world that we're in.
Yeah,
yes.
I'll never forget. I ran into somebody that I went to high school a number of years ago. And he said, I said, well, yeah, how long you been married? He says, I've been married 15 years, 5 times.
Oh. Well, when you started in with your 36, you said, I've been married 36. And I was like, he's not going to say times, right?
No. With all due respect, I'm okay with the one, and that's it. She's actually my high school sweetheart.
Oh, yeah.
I dated her for 5 years, 4.5, 5 years before we got married. Yeah, that just doesn't happen nowadays.
My fiance and I, or I guess husband now, and I dated for 6 before we tied the knot.
Well, good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. Well, the reason why you're here is because we met at a trade show, and what's really interesting is that you have a very interesting pulse on an industry that literally affects everybody, because everybody touches what you have a pulse on.
Oh, that's an interesting way of looking at it.
Okay, and that would be?
The green industry.
The green industry and water.
Correct.
Yes, water.
Irrigation and green industry.
Irrigation and green industry. So everybody has to touch it. Everybody sees it. Everybody's a part of it. And that's what makes this I don't know if you knew this or not, but gardening is the #1 hobby in America. And it's a $28 billion hobby. Now, we'll pick on the state of California just for an instance. As for the state of California as a hobby, it's $4.3 billion. But as an industry, and we're talking landscapers, arborists, people of that nature, it's $27 billion. So just in California alone, it's $31 billion. And most of that money is spent at my house, by the way. Just letting you know.
I believe it. Though I've never seen it, I can only imagine.
Hey, does a shoe keeper have shoes for his kids? No. So tell me about yourself. You are with the Green. You're with two things, right? Technically, how does that work?
So sure. So I am the editor-in-chief of the magazine Irrigation and Green Industry. It's a magazine that goes out to around 47,000 professionals in landscape and irrigation, both maintenance and design, and across the country. The magazine itself is owned by the Irrigation Association. Okay. So yes, so when you met us in Ontario, California back in January.
Road trip, that's what I'm talking about.
That's our booth where you met us at was both Irrigation Association and the magazine.
Now, I have to set this record straight here. I was actually tackled by one of your peeps in the hallways.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Yeah, that's what happened there.
What prompted that? What did you do?
They wanted to get my attention. It worked. It worked. They threw a lasso around me and pulled me to the booth, kicking and screaming. But we had a really good time. We visited with everybody for a couple of days there, as a matter of fact. So the green industry and
irrigation and
irrigation and that's what. Wait a minute, that can't be, because that's my buddy Denny's magazine.
Oh yeah, it used to be his magazine. He
used to be.
Yeah.
He didn't even tell me.
Oh,
what a punk! What a punk! I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna pull his hair. Well, what's left of it. No, we knew that. Denny's a great guy. I've known him for a million years, and he's one of these guys who just keep on giving. In fact, I was there for his I don't want to call it coronation. It was a decoronation. Retirement party. Yeah, you guys really threw a really nice bash for that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I could only eat part of the food, though, but it was the good part because it was all the sweet stuff, because I'm a vegetarian.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but it was neat seeing his family. I've never seen his whole family. And his brother. Did you see his brother?
I did.
Was that not a crack up or what? Did anybody know about that?
I don't know. I think it was a close guarded secret.
It was a close guarded secret. I have known Danny for probably, actually, I think he just barely started the magazine. And so I knew him from that far back, but I never knew he had a brother. I was in the hallways at the trade show. In fact, I think I was just done visiting with you guys. And I'm looking down the hall and I go, man, Denny lost a little weight there. I sure hope he isn't sick. I wonder what's going on. So I go walking up to this guy, and it was Denny's twin brother. Had the same suit on, same tie, same. I talked to that guy for about 45 minutes to an hour. Absolutely amazing guy. Absolutely. Just as fascinating as his brother. And we talked about his history, who he was, and all that kind of stuff. So it was really a fun thing. So with the party that you guys had, the retirement party, and having and seeing everybody at and of course his brother gave a nice little presentation for his brother as well.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that's really good. So where do we see the magazine going?
Well, I think there's a lot of opportunity to both grow it and enhance the content offering that we currently have. With our March issue, we actually did a little bit of a redesign with the magazine and added some content pieces that hadn't been in the magazine before. Things like, there was always a market watch page, but we ended up adding not just the stock numbers, but adding some news about the different publicly traded companies and what's going on in their business.
Okay.
Other things you'll see if you read the magazine, which, by the way, you can go on www.igin.com and find it there, or you can download the app for Irrigation and Green Industry. Is more call outs in the magazine where, you know, things that will really just add to the content of the magazine, such as, you know, sidebars and factoids and different just different ways to engage the reader. So we're working on that. We started with our print magazine.
And I'll tell you what, I didn't realize that we're behind the clock, and we'll be back right at this. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere, everybody.
Hey neighbor, get some sod put in?
I totally forgot.
That's what I got.
I didn't
Yours
hear
looks so much greener and thicker than mine.
Yeah,
what's going on? I'm going to call the growers.
South and Sod Farms, may I help you?
My marathon sod doesn't look as good as my neighbor's.
Oh, you heard it? Oh, I didn't hear it.
That's what I asked for.
Let me do a computer search.
Okay.
We don't have a record of your delivery. You didn't get genuine marathon sod.
What do you mean?
Sometimes unscrupulous contractors, retailers, and other sod farms need you to think they're selling Marathon, but then substitute a lesser brand.
That really teased me off. How could I have known I got a cheap imitation?
Look for the bold, genuine Marathon label on the sod pallets when they're delivered.
Don't get cheated. Look for the genuine Marathon sod logo displayed by nurseries and landscape contractors at the Yellow Pages. Or call 1-800-4-MARATHON for a free do-it-yourself video and authorized dealer list. That's 1-800-4, then Marathon. Or visit the website at www.sod.com.
With containers, there are a couple of things to be aware of. Containers can be heavy and get really hot. A solution I found is the Big Bag Bed from Smart Pots. They're lightweight. No, really, anyone from 3 to 93 can pick one up because they're made from aeration fabric consumers have been using for years, and they breathe, which is an important factor in developing stronger roots. Traditional containers don't do that. Grow this year's garden in a Big Bag Bed by Smart Pots, found at your local nursery, garden center, and online at smartpots.com.
Did you know when you donate a kidney, you give the gift of life?
I had no idea you could donate an organ while you were still alive. If I'm born with 2 healthy kidneys but only need one, and I could really improve somebody else's life, why not? When I think of giving up something I don't need in exchange for a life, it's no contest. If I had another one, I'd do it again.
Visit the National Kidney Foundation at kidney.org. Now, you know.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not
Do you know the value of your property is
support my husband, so he dragged me across the country, but he could have dragged me a lot worse places.
Or a bad landscape devalues your property, makes it worth less than it could be. But a pristine landscape can increase the value of your property 10, 20, 30% or more. It'll behoove you to have America's most listened to garden expert and master gardener Nick Federoff evaluate your landscape. He'll offer an in-depth analysis on how to plan, improve, or change your landscape within your budget. He's also available to consult with your landscape architect, contractor, and gardener. Use Nick as your personal liaison to help you make the right decisions. For a landscape consultation to increase your curb appeal, call Nick's office at 562-945-6469. That's 562-945-6469. 562-945-6469.
When you were a little kid and you thought about what you wanted to be, teaching was at the top of your list. But things changed. And as you got older, teaching didn't seem like the best option anymore. So you're thinking you'll be something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Now you want to be a doctor. You don't think teachers save lives? 25 at a time. An actress? Try playing a different role every time the bell rings. How about a scientist? Ever heard of physics? Chemistry? Who do you think teaches that? Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, and taking learning far beyond the 4 walls of the classroom. It's time to recognize that great things are happening in teaching. Put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Today's program is brought to you in part by Bonite. Ask for Bonite products by name at your local nursery or garden center and visit online at bonite.com.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is Nick Federoff on gardening, coming to you from the thingsgreen.com botanical gardens. I have Kristin with me, and she is an editor or an editor-in-chief. You said editor-in-chief. I don't see like a bonnet with feathers or anything like that. What
oh, should I go out to my car and
yeah.
have that?
What's an editor-in-chief?
You know, it's pretty much the same thing as an editor. I think just with the chief title, it's a little bit more prominent in that it makes me more of the face of the magazine.
Oh, you're the one that gets in trouble.
Hopefully not.
Now, do you read everything that comes through the magazine?
Oh, yes.
Really?
Yes. Multiple times.
How many typos do you catch?
A few, and a lot of it is just really finessing copy to, I think we have a really good voice that we try to capture for our readers where we kind of speak to them. I think it's a little bit of what sets us apart is, that we speak like we're just, having a conversation and we get really on their level of the contractor.
Oh, that's nice. Nice. So that being said, that you're with the you're talking to the irrigation contractor, you're talking to the landscape contractor, you're talking to people that are in the green industry. Needless to say, we have a very big consumer audience here. Now, we want our consumer audience to encourage their landscaper, their green industry person to become part of the magazine, and by subscribing and getting the information out. Now, you gave we'll give out the website a couple more times, but just for tickles, what's that website address again?
It's IGIN.com.
IGIN. So, okay, IGIN. Okay, IGIN.com. And so landscape professional can go into there. So, we don't want to be overloaded with any consumer stuff like that, because that's not fair. And then this way they can become more versed, they could become more intelligent, and they can become a better landscaper and understanding the industry so that they could help me as the consumer.
Yeah, that's really the point and purpose, is to help them do their job better, and then the end result, of course, is that your lawn's going to look better, your garden's going to look better, your water is going to be more efficient.
Yeah, I like that idea. And the water is a huge issue. There are in a year and a half, 2 years ago, the United States has never seen the amount of drought that it has seen ever in modern history. We're talking 14 states had the worst drought ever. Now, over the last year and a half or so, not quite 2 years, there's been a lot of relief. A lot of relief with the water, the Pineapple Express that came through, all these different little weather patterns that El Nino, La Nina, whatever you want to call it. So all these things have started to happen. But I like to say that it's all about. Well, let me do this. And we read this off the air, but our Facebook peeps. Our Facebook peeps, they got chewed out after they said this, right? Okay, love this, but yes, your guest mic blocks her, so you're still being blocked by the microphone. What if you went over there? If you went over there, are you gonna be blocked? Oh yeah, look at that, you're being blocked. We can't even see you. You don't even exist, as far as anybody knows. I am talking to nobody. There you go. That's a little better. There you go.
Is that good?
Yeah,
okay.
This tells you that we're a cracker jack. There she is. Okay. Isn't that nicer?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so we can see who you are now. Okay. I might even have you go for a little further. Why don't you go a little further too? That's it. Okay, and then pull the microphone toward you. And you can pull a little bit closer. Girls' voices actually project a little bit better, so you're okay. All right, there you go, everybody. That's what we're talking about. But I wanted to read a comment from one of our Facebook peeps, which I really, yeah, you're getting all these likes now. Here's somebody, Jeff. Jeff is a good friend of the program over here. and participant, and he says the new green is brown. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm not really sure what he means by that.
Well, what he means by it is that there are certain cities that have adopted that particular saying, thinking that turning your water off, not watering your lawn, it turns brown, that it's a good, that
I see.
So it turns brown is the new green. Here's the problem. There's a lot of problems with that. Number one, we have to understand where our water comes from. And the water usage is, most of the water that's being used is used for agriculture. Only, it's either 2 or 3%. I already forgot the numbers right now. Only 2 to 3% of all the water used is used for the home. Now, only 1 to 2% of that is used for the landscape. So we're talking about 0.5% to 1% overall usage is used for the lawn out of all the water that's being used. Now, you can't do anything about the farmers need water. Give them all the water. I want to eat. That's what I want to do. I got a big old belly. I want to eat. I'm not going to stop. But there are other areas that can be developed a whole lot better to where the water could be saved. First place is with commercial industrial. Commercial and industrial, they can use their water better. They could recycle their water. They can do those kind of things. That's what they're in business for in the first place. They should do that. So that right there is an important thing to do. And then another area is of course responsibility for people is very important. I'm not saying just because we're only using 1 to 4% of the overall water usage, just to say. I'm not saying that we should not be good stewards. We should not be gluttonous with our water. Water is a precious commodity. Most of us human beings are made up mostly of water. Mm-hmm. But the bottom line is that it's not about not using water. It's about strategically placing it. That's my saying. You can't have it unless I get credit for it.
But I just want to say you're absolutely right. And one of the things that we, I think, do a good job of in the magazine is teaching landscape contractors efficient irrigation. Because if you were to look at, a lot of lawns, and you would find that people are overwatering their lawns. So if you can use the minimal amount of water to get the maximum effect, then you're probably ending up saving water, but still getting the green that you want to have.
Well, it's interesting because I have a question that comes up all the time, whether it's in writing or whether it is someone calling into the program. And that is, am I watering too much? Now, when anybody asks me that, guess what they're doing?
Watering too much.
Exactly. So they are watering too much. And that being said, a typical lawn only needs 1 1/4 inch of water per week. That's it. 1 1/4 inch water per week. Now, it's true that if you have a really hot summer, you may need a little bit more. However, where we really blow it is in fall and winter. We forget to turn our irrigation control boxes down and adjust accordingly, because in wintertime, we don't need that much. All right, we're in here at the thingsgreen.com botanical gardens. I already forget where we're at. I have a special in studio guest. Kristin is with us. She's with Egan.
That is correct.
Irrigation Green Industry. Irrigation Green Industry.
The N.
What's the N?
So what it's explained to me is that it stands for network.
Oh, network. All right. Well, with that, we're gonna take a little break, and when we come back, we'll do some more networking. Don't go anywhere.
If you're an entrepreneur and business person, you know that without advertising, a terrible thing happens. Nothing. Increase your local, national, or worldwide sales by advertising right here on Adrenaline Radio. We have a sales rep that can custom tailor a campaign that will benefit both you and your business. Call 562-945-6469 before your competition does. That's 562-945-6469. Yeah, adrenalineradio.com.
Add basic elements of pruning to your audiobook collection today. Available on audio CD. Simply listen in your stereo, car, or computer. You'll learn pruning techniques the pros use, how to make selective cuts, specialty pruning, and a whole lot more. Plus, we take a natural approach to insect, pest, and disease control. You can order basic elements of pruning on Amazon for $24.95, but if you call 1-800-9-NEW-YARD right now, you can get basic elements of pruning, the audiobook on CD, for only $19.95. That's a $5 savings. But that's not all. If you mention you heard this radio ad, we'll include a copy of the 56-page companion pocket guide handbook, Basic Elements of Pruning, absolutely free. You'll be saving over $10 if you call 1-800-9-NEW-YARD. That's 1-800-963-9927 right now for the Basic Elements of Pruning audiobook on CD. Each chapter of the audiobook is no longer than 5 minutes. This way, you can listen while going to work, between dropping the kids off at school, or take the garden expert in the yard and garden with you. You can't be without the audiobook, Basic Elements of Pruning. Even if you don't do your own pruning, you'll want to know if the job is getting done right. Pruning is important to overall plant growth.
Tony,
when done properly,
that was
bigger
funny.
Flowers, more fruit. Plus, you'll be increasing the value of your property. So what are you waiting for? Call 1-800-9, then spell out New Yard. That's 1-800-9-NEW-YARD. 1-800-963-9927 to secure your very own copy of the audiobook, Basic Elements of Pruning. And if you mention this ad, you'll get the companion booklet absolutely free. I don't know about you, but I can do a lot with the $10 savings by ordering right now. Call 1-800-9-NEW-YARD for the plants in your life. 1-800-963-9927.
Hey, I feel the love. That's all I'm saying. I'm feeling the love here. Oh, that is too funny.
Talk about a rush. One of the greatest dropping, fastest
Hey, Pablo, how you doing, buddy?
Steel Phantom. It opened in April 1991 at Kennywood Music Park in West Midland, PA. That's a funny name. And it has a vertical drop of 225 radical feet into a narrow ravine with a speed of 80 miles per hour. That's fast. And that's news that you can use from adrenalineradio.com.
Each time you mow, are you picking up the clippings or leaving them down? This is Nick Federoff with today's Things Green Garden Minute. It's a lifelong controversy whether or not we pick up the clippings after we mow our lawn or just leave them there. You see, if you pick them up, you can make compost out of it. But if you're not making compost, aren't you just throwing it away? The other thing is, if you leave them down, doesn't it make your lawn unsightly? On top of that, did you know that green, I mean really green greenage, actually takes away from your lawn?
Here we go. Hey, David, how you doing?
It nutrients out of it. So what do we do? Well, if the truth was known, I'm a big fan of leaving the clippings there for a major reason. If you take those clippings and really cut them down, go over the lawn area 2-3 times, it forces it down. There's enough nitrogen in each clipping to put back in the soil as opposed to taking it out. So mulch away. This is Nick Federoff with today's ThingsGreen.com Garden Minute.
All right, absolutely. Hey, did you know that? All right, I'm just kind of chatting with some friends on Facebook during the break over here, and did you? I just want to mention to David over here. David, did you know that I had Bill on my TV show? Yeah, it's going to be airing. And Pam, do you have any idea when that's going to air? That was the Ireland show. Did it get transcribed yet? Okay, so she's thinking probably in about 2 months, month and a half. Yeah, about a month and a half or so. Anyway, where were we?
IGIN.com. Something about the N and IGIN.
Look at you. Cheap, and look at these plugs we're getting. Okay, here we have Leslie. Leslie's asking a good question. And in fact, why don't you go ahead and read that? What's that? You're a reader, girl. You know how to read. But we're going to see if the editor-in-chief knows how to read. You're going to have to go back because people are yelling.
Oh, okay.
They can't see you.
Okay. So the question is from Leslie Walker, what is the best type of grass do you recommend that will stay somewhat green, that is drought tolerant? Or does it exist?
Okay, very good question. You know what? There's no such a thing as a true drought-tolerant turf. It doesn't exist. Are there certain turfs that use less water? Yes, there are certain turfs that use less water than others. For instance, if you were to have a blue rye mix, then that right there, those are very popular in the East, by the way, east of the Mississippi. A blue rye mix will use a boatload of water compared to a St. Augustine grass, for instance, but which uses a whole bunch of water as opposed to a fescue. Now, I'm a big fan on the West for using the Marathon sod family of sods. And there's 3 different types of sods that you can get. You can get the original, the Marathon 2, and the Marathon 3. The Marathon 1 is more of a hairier kind of a lawn. You mow it a little bit higher. Has a super duper deep root system on it. We're talking 12 to 16 inches. And then you have the number 2, which has a more refined appearance, and then number 3, which is even much more refined than that. And with the original and it can take a lot of traffic. So, and the reason why it can take a lot of traffic is because it's a faster growing lawn. So if you have kids, you have dogs, you have cats, you have, animals, rhinoceri. I mean, you got married at the zoo, you know what I'm talking about. Elephants, stuff like that are tromping on your lawn. Then you're going to want a more aggressive kind of turf. And if you're only doing weekend lawn parties, you're going to want the Marathon 2. And if it's only for a front yard kind of situation where nobody walks in it other than probably the mail carrier, then maybe you can go with that because it has a super refined appearance. Now, there are turfs that claim that they are no-mow turfs. Now, if they're no-mow turfs, they're not lawns.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, they're ground covers. Turf is designed and wants to be mowed. It wants to be mowed. That's the whole thing about turf. And we have to remember that. You want to be able to mow it, and you're going to have to water it. So there is a turf that is coming on the market right now, and it's a zoysia turf. And if you go to sod.com, SOD.com, you can find out all about it. It is probably about the second year, maybe the first, it's between the first and the second year in its introduction. And what's interesting about it is that a zoysia grass is a slow-growing turf. It is also a turf that you don't have to mow, so it turns into a ground cover, or it's a turf you can mow. And it kind of resembles, it's almost kind of like a Bermuda type of grass, but it's not. It has a very defined and refined look to it, has a very aggressive root system. Here's the caveat. It goes dormant. Now, if you want a turf, Leslie, that uses quote-unquote less water, get a turf that goes dormant. So your Bermudas, St. Augustine, and the zoysia. And the zoysia is a very, very tough grass. So you're going to hear me talk more and more about it throughout the next years as I'm learning more and more about it. And it's not the same type of zoysia that you see. There used to be these ads in magazines where you had a couple people pulling on turf. I don't know if you remember that. They'd have a piece of sod and they're pulling it real hard. It's a different variety than that. It's a different cultivar than that. It's a different science behind it. That's old school stuff that we just don't use anymore. So you want to make sure that you're getting the right turf for whatever it is. You got to remember also that all turfs need full sun. The less sun that it gets, the more sparse it gets. And the more sparse it gets, the more problems you're going to have. So there's a lot of little factors that you have to keep in mind. So there is no such thing as a drought tolerant turf in its entirety, it's the truth. All plants need water, period. If anybody tells you that, oh, it's drought tolerant. I actually go on a lot of landscape consultations, part of what I do for a living. So if you want to hire me, okay. I go to a lot of landscape consultations, and I see people that put in these drought tolerant landscapes, and they don't understand why after 3, 4, 5, 6 months, their drought tolerant landscape has died. They stop watering.
Oh.
It takes a solid year for a plant to get well established before you could wean it off of the water.
So how do you define drought tolerant then?
That's a really good question. You know, a lot of people think that a native plant is a drought tolerant. And mind you, they are to a certain degree. But all plants need water. So a true drought tolerant plant for every state in the union would be a plant that is indigenous to your state. But there's problems with that. Plants that are native have something that in common. They all go dormant in the summertime. They shut down when they need water, when you think though they need water the best and the most. So they actually shut down. That's why they become drought tolerant. But people are usually home during the summertime. So who wants a dead looking plant? Hey, we're going to be right back after this. Don't go anywhere. This is Nick Federoff on Gardening.
All right.
Anyway,
For
okay,
a beautiful lawn and garden that's healthy and safe, use Dramatic Liquid Plant Foods by Graham. It's the organic choice to produce brilliant fruits and vegetables that are healthy for your family. And because it's all natural, it's safe for barefoot fun and playful pets. Available at your local garden center or nursery. Ask for Dramatic Plant Foods. Visit us online at dram.com. Dramatic Plant Foods for dramatic results.
Welcome back to Science Today. And the next caller is 9-year-old Phyllis.
Hi. Well, I know the molecular formula for glucose, C6H12O6, and the general formula for algae, CN-H2N+2, but I can't seem to find any scientific formula for Bob.
Bob?
My goldfish.
Are you ready for kids who eat healthy? Good nutrition can lead to great things. To find out how a healthy lifestyle can help your child succeed, go to mypyramid.gov. Brought to you by the Ad Council and USDA.
Diabetes is a killer. After I was diagnosed, I didn't feel sick, so I didn't listen to my doctor. Then it struck. I had a heart attack, then a stroke, and I was only 49.
2 out of 3 people with diabetes die from heart disease or stroke. Call 1-800-DIABETES for your free diabetes survival guide. Choose to live.
It's not too late. Don't let diabetes destroy your life.
A message from the American Diabetes Association and the American College of Cardiology.
Hi, this is Kenny Chesney for RAV. There are a lot of things we have no control of in life, and that doesn't include drunk driving. Be smart. If you drink, don't drive. Think ahead and choose a designated driver. Remember, music lives, and so did you.
Yeah, I thought you looked like my Yes, but I looked good.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president of our United States. Most people know him as a man of great wisdom and vision. What many don't realize, however, is that when it came to finding late model sedans in government auctions, or even looking up a zip code, Mr. Lincoln's wisdom was sadly lacking. In fact, the citizens of that day knew it best not to even ask. Fortunately, now there's firstgov.gov, the official place to turn when you need information about federal, state, and local government. Whether it's how to get a student loan, renew your passport, or even apply for a small business loan. All 3 of which, as numerous historians have noted, were remarkably absent from Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. So go to firstgov.gov. Who knows? If Abe had it in his day, he could have checked out an auction and traded that drafty log cabin for a nice condo on Maui. firstgov.gov, a monumental source of useful information.
Of how to get to his facility, because you could like send me a map
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is Nick Federoff on gardening. I got Kristin Smith-Ely. Am I pronouncing that right?
You are.
Okay, want to make sure. You know, a person's name is a gold to their ears, and I always want to make sure I get their name correctly here.
The Eli piece is new, so I used to have a name that everybody would pronounce correctly, always Smith.
Oh,
so now, so now this Eli is
Smith or Smythe.
I always do a double take when people would ask me to spell it when you're on the phone with them. Just spell your last name. Like, really? I said Smith.
Okay, looks like our photographer showed up, so we're going to take a picture over here. I'm going to see how this goes. Yeah, face that right. Okay, I'll come. You know what? You come over here.
Sure.
All right, we're taking a picture.
We got to make sure we don't have,
that's right.
The
Just come over here
blockage.
in this direction. This is gardening, folks. It really is. So we'll go like this and smile. Are you taking it? Go ahead. Just keep on pushing it. There you go. That's it. So, all right. I think she got a couple of those.
Great.
And then she can. Now, when you post those, don't make me look fat. Okay? Can't stand. No, take a picture like that of just her and go up there. Now get down in the corner over there. Pam, get down in the corner like that and take it so she can get the sign in at the same time. There you go. All right. Making sure that everybody's taken care of. All right. We're talking gardening, landscaping. We're actually finding out about a trade magazine. We're giving you an inside look out of something that's pretty interesting, folks, because you normally don't get this kind of industry insight. It's a huge, huge industry. And one of the things that we want to do is we want to encourage new people to come into the industry as well. I want you to encourage anybody that's involved with this. Now, in the publication, are you going to be having anybody talking about like tech stuff?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, our May issue is going to be all about that and how technology with these Roomba-like mowers and things like that are
Really? Wow.
Becoming more popular.
Yeah.
In Europe especially, but could be coming, to a landscape business near you.
Okay. You know what? I was a landscaper at one time, a landscape business. I had 60 people on my payroll. So we were a formidable firm. We had, a couple different yards and trucks galore and blah, 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 blah. Okay. So if I was to get back into the business again, I would strongly consider using robotic mowers. I used to use a robotic mower years ago when they first came out. And it was like the thing was possessed. You ever see one of those things work?
No. Probably because they didn't survive. Whoever used it.
Yeah, it is so cool. At least the one that I had. What you ended up doing, and I don't know if they do it the same way this time, but you take a wire and you put a wire and you insert it in the ground on the perimeter of your turf. Then what you do is you take this machine that has been pre-charged, and there's now they have docking stations for them. I didn't have a docking station. But what you do then is that you push a button on there, and then it starts to go berserk. It starts, it starts reading.
Run for your life?
Just about, yeah. And then what it does is that it starts reading the signal from the GPS. The GPS finds the wire based on the fact that the Roomba-like lawnmower is sending a signal to the wire. I think. The wire is hooked up to electric somehow. Yes, it is hooked up. If I'm correct, it is hooked up to some kind of electric. So there's a feed that's going through there. It's talking to it, and then the machine just goes all crazy like this. Then you would think that the machine is just going crazy because it just starts going in any direction that it wants, and it's sideways, diagonal, up, down, all this time. But what it's doing, it's actually very methodic in what it's doing. It finds and ends up going over every single square inch of turf.
Wow, that's fascinating.
It really is. Now, here's another little thing. How many blades does a rotary lawnmower usually have? one blade. And we're usually talking 24 inches up to 28 inches long. A robotic lawnmower typically has
3.
Yeah, that's right. And the interesting part about it is that, now I don't remember what the law reads, but a rotary lawnmower, the blade is only allowed to turn so many RPMs, rotations per minute, on that lawnmower. Otherwise, what might happen is that that blade might fall apart. It might come off the mower. You might end up becoming a peg leg because of it. It would hurt the lawnmower. It'll hurt the operator. So the law says it can only go so fast. But for rotary lawnmowers, because they usually have blades that I believe are 6 inches, maybe 8 inches at the most. They're really tiny blades. There's no law for that.
Oh.
They are lighter. They are tinier blades. They offset the blades so that when it goes places up and down like this, it crisscrosses. And the amazing part about it is that they cut so fine, there's no debris to pick up.
Oh, wow.
It's really cool.
That's amazing.
Now, if you want your lawn to look really pristine, mow it every other or every third day with a robotic lawnmower. Oh my. It is so cool. What's also cool is that we have to take a little break because we need to pay the bills around here. We'll be back with Kristin Smith-Ely from the Irrigation and Green
Industry
magazine. We'll be back right after this. Okay, I'm doing that. I'm doing that purposely.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Technology moves at the speed of innovation, and today, that's lightning fast.
Now, in a flash,
hands on the latest tech. Don't forget to do the right thing with your old devices. Recycle them. The Consumer Electronics Association and its members are making recycling your old tech device as easy as purchasing new ones. Just go to greenergadgets.org, type in your zip code, and you'll instantly find the responsible recycling location closest to your home. You'll also find lots of tips to simplify your recycling, like asking the store where you buy your new TV if they'll haul away your old one. Television sets, video game consoles, smartphones, tablets, they're all recyclable. Don't let them clog up your local landfill. Just visit greenergadgets.org. You're sharp enough to get the latest tech tools into your home. Now be responsible enough to get your old devices to the recycler. That's greenergadgets.org.
Are snails and slugs leaving slime trails everywhere on your sidewalks, up your foundation, or on your outdoor furniture? Are they eating all of your flowers and vegetables before you can get a chance to enjoy them? Bonide has the answer. Bonide's all-natural slug magic is very effective in attracting and controlling all species of snails and slugs. This will truly be their last meal. The rainproof formula will make slugs and snails disappear from your gardens fast. Slug magic is safe around pets and wildlife. It can also be used in fruit and vegetable gardens, even up to the day of harvest. So why wait? Pick up some slug magic today. Put a stop to those slimy plant-eating snails and slugs. Bonide products are family-made in America. Find Bonide Slug Magic at these fine retailers: Lincoln Nursery in Pasadena, Sunshine Growers in Yucaipa, Glendora Gardens, Glendora, or visit Bonide.com for a retailer near you.
Yeah, so if they could figure out how to do this.
Hey, I'm a busy parent, which is why I rely on computer and video game ratings.
They help me choose which games my kids can play. If it were up to them, they'd get the ones that look the coolest. But checking the rating symbol on the front tells me which games are okay for which ages.
And on the back, there are descriptions of what's actually in the game. And the ratings really help you know which games are okay to play.
Parenting can be tough, but the ratings make it easier. Use the video game rating system. It works for me.
Want to know some fun facts about colonoscopies? Colon cancer is 90% preventable.
A colonoscopy can detect and prevent colon cancer in one fell swoop. But here's a not-so-fun fact. Lots of people are so uncomfortable even talking about a colonoscopy that they never get one. If you're 50 or 45 for African Americans, get screened now, maybe even earlier if you have a family history. To schedule a screening today, visit StopColonCancerNow.com.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Nick Federoff on gardening over here. We've got Kristin Smith-Ely. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Can you believe that? Like 1 hour down, just like that. Can you imagine that?
Ooh, that was a fast hour.
Isn't it a fast hour? It surprises me every single time. Okay. Now,
hopefully the viewers think so too.
I think so as well.
Okay.
Yes, I hope so as well. Okay, listen. You recently wrote an article about a very fascinating person, an amazing individual, a stellar guy that you're looking in his eyes right now, right? Didn't you?
Well, I did write an article about Nick Federoff.
Oh,
yes,
you did?
correct.
Really? I didn't know that. When is that going to?
So that'll be in our April issue.
Okay.
Which
nice.
Should be mailed probably about the 5th of the month.
Okay, nice.
We're live on the website by about that time.
Nice. Okay. Am I going to be surprised when I read it?
Maybe not. Hopefully not. I mean, I used the information you gave me to put the story together.
Oh, you guys spoken with you before?
So, yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. So is that one of the responsibilities of an editor-in-chief to actually write articles for a publication? I thought it was to gather other people together.
Well, I guess it depends on the editor. I personally really enjoy writing and interviewing people and telling stories. So I always want that to be part of what I do. It adds a little bit of more work and time to my plate, but I feel like it's worth it in the end because I really get fulfilled out of writing. Probably like you and your gardening, you have this show, but you still do gardening, outside of your radio show. So
do as I say, not as I do. That's all I say.
Yeah, okay. So I think it's just a love of mine. That's why I got into publishing in the first place, is because I love to write. I've always been a writer.
Okay.
So.
Where do you see physical magazines in 10 years? Are they still going to be around?
I absolutely think so. I think people thought, paper is dying, right? I mean, in a lot of ways, paper has been reduced, but I still think that there are those people that like to have a physical item to engage with.
I'm one of them.
I feel like it's more memorable when you can pick it up and flip through the pages.
Yeah.
And hold on to it.
Ooh. Before I forget, actually we have 1 minute. We're not going to be able to do it. But anyway, I want to thank you for being here on this hour of the program where we talk about gardening and landscaping. What's the website address again?
Oh, it's IGIN.com.
IGIN.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I strongly encourage you to have your landscape professional, your irrigation specialist, your arborist, anybody that's in the green industry, and also as well as any students that are fledgling people who want to get into the industry. The only way you can learn about the industry is if you actually get into it and you start touching it and feeling it, just like the magazine itself, and you'll get a better grip of what's going on. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, this is Nick Federoff, and are we out of here yet? That's it? Yeah. All right. I treat each hour as if it's its own.
Did you know I host a PBS television show? It's called Things Green with Nick Federoff. Hey, wait a minute, that's me! Yeah, I know, it's a little vain, but it gets the point across. The program is filled with 30 minutes of hands-on, easy-to-do garden projects, from ornamental plants to vegetable gardens, indoor landscaping, and a whole lot more. We occasionally conduct interviews with industry pros and celebrities. We'll also include garden health tips from doctors to how to keep your yard pet safe with
advice from animal experts. We do not go on this, our most popular segment called the Things Green Gardening Giggles, which are jokes told by the Things Green Kids. Check your local PBS listing for Things Green with Nick Federoff, or if your local PBS station doesn't carry the show, then have them call us at 1-800-9-NEW-YARD. That's 1-800, the number 9, then spell out New Yard, and we'll get your local PBS station to carry Things Green with Nick Federoff.
Part of the building that we're
Nick Federoff on gardening is just around the corner. Get your pen and paper ready to write down telephone numbers, notes, and website addresses. Today's program is brought to you in part by Sustainable Environmental Education, CSOlines.org, Marathon Sod, Southern California's most popular sod, Bonite. Get your app at Bonite.com. Super Thrive with 50 vitamins and hormones. Now call in with your question, 1-800-405-NICK.
As host of America's most listened to radio gardening show, you can imagine our telephone lines are always jammed during the program. That's why gardening expert Nick Federoff decided to open his telephone lines 24/7. Call 1-800-405-NICK. That's 1-800-405-6425. Leave your name and number, and we'll call you back during the week. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-405-NICK to get your gardening questions answered by Nick Federoff.
Lifestyles on Deborah Wetzel. Every bride wants to look beautiful on her wedding day, and achieving that perfect look is easy with some expert advice on the right beauty products. Kelly Kwan, celebrity makeup artist, says a little preparation can make the day go a lot smoother.
Being prepared is the key to pulling off a gorgeous look, so select products that can multitask. For example, choose a creamy lipstick that doubles as a blush, and use petroleum jelly, which adds shine to lips or can be dabbed on hair to prevent flyaways.
And since brides spend most of their big day smiling for the camera and guests, how should they keep their smile looking luminous?
Prior to the big day, get in the habit of brushing with a battery-operated toothbrush to remove surface stain, and a paste that restores whiteness to teeth. These are also great tools to bring along for quick smile touch-ups in between the ceremony and reception. Also, be sure to choose lipstick colors that have a blue or cool undertone, like a mauve or pale rose. These will make a bride's theme look extra white through all her wedding day photos.
I'm Deborah Wetzel.
Camera person.
I used to work for 2 different TV stations.
Well, there you go. And then you have the sound, and there was a light guy too.
Yeah.
And then you just slowly got it smaller, smaller, and smaller.
I was
This entire piece of music is played with only 2 instruments, a right hand and a left hand. Hands can do incredible things, but nothing compares to using them to help save a life with hands-only CPR. If an adult suddenly collapses, call 911, then push hard and fast in the center of their chest until help arrives. Hands-only CPR is recommended by the American Heart Association, and it's incredibly easy and effective. Find out more about this latest method of CPR at handsonlycpr.org. The power to help save a life is in your hands. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
Third largest one in the United States, and they still do everything with tape.
If you're an entrepreneur and business person, you know that without advertising, a terrible thing happens. Nothing. Increase your local, national, or worldwide sales by advertising right here on Adrenaline Radio. We have a sales rep that can custom tailor a campaign that will benefit both you and your business. Call 562-945-6469 before your competition does. That's 562-945-6469. Yeah, AdrenalineRadio.com.
Not too long ago, I was featured in Fortune magazine, and it had nothing to do with gardening. The article was on computers of all things. With this in mind, I want to direct you to thingsgreen.com, a marriage of computers and gardening. At thingsgreen.com, you'll find gardening information, audio files, gardening supply links, and other helpful information. So give it a whirl and see how this gardener incorporates your favorite hobby, the information highway on thingsgreen.com.
When the internet came, they figured, especially in the radio.
Whoa, dudes and dudettes, a poem. I've given these weeds a little attention. I'm gonna make this garden grow. Inspired by a homer named Nick Federoff, all it takes is a ring and a hoe. That rhymes. So tune in every weekend on your radio dial. This spot of dirt that isn't fertile will still become fortified. Your time won't be wasted, and I can tell you why. What used to be a barren patio is the envy of my neighbor's eye. Is she the babe? It gives you so many lectures about being good or being bad. After you fully awaken, hey, you realize you've been had. That rhymes too. So tune into this coming garden to a gnarly guy by the name of Nick. You'll wonder how a dude so crazy can heal a plant so quick. This is becoming too ironic. I think I better go. I can write all day upon Nick Federoff when he told me to watch my plants grow. All right.
Yeah.
And follow through with that. And to do the double whammy thing.
Tony, welcome to the program. How you doing?
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Fantastic. What's going on?
It sure sounds like it. Boy, I was in a bummer mood till I started listening to you, so thanks for that, because I'm on my way into work.
I love your show. I think it's fantastic. I have kids, and we just sit around the breakfast table and listen to you every Saturday morning. I even gave up my other radio, which I won't mention. It's another station. I don't think you're familiar with it, but I keep it up, and I really love that one, but I love you more. Don't tell them over there, because I'm pretty dedicated.
You have converted us to gardening. I have to tell you that, very honestly. And we really enjoy listening to the program, and that's why I'm calling right now.
You know what I think is really cool is that someone will pick up yeah, it's so cool.
Oh wow! You gotta teach me how to do that.
I just read it. Our microphone's on. Our microphones are on. So I'm here one is on over here.
Nice.
We're over here visiting away.
Hey.
Can you believe that? Hey everybody, welcome aboard. This is Nick Federoff. Excuse me. This is Nick Federoff, and we're talking gardening, landscaping, helping you out with all of your indoor and outdoor living ideas. I have an in-studio guest over here today. Her name is Kristin, and Kristin is with
Irrigation Green Industry magazine.
And she's also a Smith-Ely, aren't you?
I am one of those as well.
Yeah.
I think I might be the only one.
But you're a brand new Eli.
I am a brand new Eli.
Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you.
Did you have a big old fancy wedding?
Oh, I had a wonderful wedding. I got married at the zoo.
Oh, wait. At the zoo.
Oh, it was spectacular.
Is that because you have a monkey's uncle?
Maybe.
You don't know that.
You know what?
That's okay.
You know what? My husband and I just really love the outdoors.
Oh.
And thought, well, how can we, have nature involved in our
wow.
wedding? And it just kind of, what we liked about it is where we were getting married, there was always a chance of rain, right? So they had a really nice indoor option should it rain. So
okay. But otherwise you were in the elephant pin or what?
No.
Where did you
there was
the ring bearer was a giraffe. I mean, come on.
We joked about the ring bearer.
But
we didn't have a ring. But we didn't have a ring bearer. We had a ring bearer.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, there was just a really nice deck that overlooked a pond and a water feature.
Okay.
It was beautiful.
Okay, so you didn't have any pterodactyl flying by or anything of that nature, right?
That was extra.
Oh.
So,
yeah. No, we're not paying for extra. We got a budget.
No,
we're sticking to that. I had no idea. I had no idea that you can actually get married in a zoo.
Yeah, that was kind of news to us too, and we were looking at different venues. Someone suggested that, and we both thought, yeah. And in the zoo we went to, there were 5 different places within the facility where you could get married.
Now, are these like thematic weddings? I mean, were you dressed up in fatigues and had guns and stuff like that, or?
No, it was pretty traditional.
Is that right?
And the funny thing about it was that was what we had always wanted to do and always thought. But when we sent the invitations out, a lot of people were sending me messages. Well, what should I wear? It's just what you would wear to a wedding.
Oh, okay. So people didn't come in their cutoffs and safari hats, right?
No, not too many.
Not too many hats. Yeah, okay. When they get invited to a wedding. I'm sorry, I've never heard about this before. Do they have to pay to get into the zoo to get to the wedding?
No. As long as they're a guest, they actually got free admission to the zoo for the day.
Okay, so it was a double whammy.
Yeah.
Now, did you hear "ha" in the background and all that kind of stuff?
No, we were okay. We did not.
Okay.
It was far enough away from everything, I guess.
All right, nice. How many people were at the wedding?
I think we had about 150.
Nice size wedding there. Yeah. You guys are broke now.
Yeah,
Did you have like the reception there as well?
We did, yeah.
So you did the whole thing at a zoo. How cool.
Yeah, it was great. It was such a fun day.
One of the neat things about zoos is that we're going to find out that more and more zoos are becoming botanical gardens. And the reason being is because they need to feed the animals.
Oh, what a great idea.
Yeah.
It's beautiful and you can eat it too.
You can, yeah. So if they have the room and the space to grow these things, to become a botanical garden, you actually need to get a certification. It's not just enough to have plants that are labeled.
Okay.
And you have to maintain these plants for a certain amount of time. And then you also have to catalog the plants, show where and everything's done off of GPS nowadays. So you have to get a GPS coordinates for your plants, label them out, say what the botanical name is, get a curator for that. So it's a real process. So when you said going to the zoo, I'm thinking to myself, wow, what a cool idea. What a cool idea. Because they do have those little alcoves and special areas where that are just pretty.
Oh yeah, it was gorgeous.
Yeah, so I could see you doing that. I filmed a TV show one time at a zoo, and I actually shoveled elephant dung. That was part of what we did in there. It was an experience. Yeah, it was an experience. So I was just this one I'm kind of visualizing when you're telling me about your wedding. So
well, though you can't really see, our viewers or our listeners can't see it. I can kind of show you here.
You have a little picture there, huh? Let's see what you got here. We're gonna see. Okay, can you get that over there? Oh, how nice!
I have a bunch on my phone, but I just figured that was.
Oh, look at that! Now, he's got a short little beard. Looks like.
Oh, a short one, yes.
You married smart. I'm telling you right now. You're very pretty on your picture.
Oh, thank you.
Nice. So did you end up doing the thing where you threw the bouquet and somebody caught it and all that too?
I sure did.
Yeah, nice. It's always fascinating when you end up getting this kind of stuff together and you're planning the wedding and all that, because were there flowers involved?
There sure were.
Yeah.
And you know what? This is so great that I can share this. I was just thinking, we actually did do-it-yourself flowers for the wedding. We went to a florist and we ended up decorating. So we took empty wine bottles that were donated to us, about 150 of them.
Wow, I was going to think you and your husband are a couple luscious. That's what you guys are.
Well, I've been going to a couple of these paint and sip nights out, and I saw after the painting was done, a couple people would take their wine bottle and kind of spin it on their palette, on this like paper plate thing, and it would come up with this nice little design. And so
that painted right onto the bottle. Okay.
Right. So then got the idea, maybe we do a bunch of these, stuff them with flowers, put them on the tables. And we did it, and it came out really nice. Yeah. And I had a florist who bought a bunch of flowers bulk for us and had a little fun night of beer and pizza and decorating and
putting the flowers together. Yeah. How far ahead of time did you put the flowers together?
It was 2 nights before. So the Thursday we got married on a Saturday.
Okay, so did you end up having to take those flowers then and then chill them?
Yes, they were chilled.
You were chilled afterwards. Did you put anything inside the water to kind of keep them going or anything like that?
No.
Okay. What type of flowers did you end up getting?
Oh gosh, a bunch of different ones. Some were, of course I don't know all the names of them, but
that's better, right? Neither do I.
Some carnations, some roses. There were some more exotic ones that peonies, I think, were part of them. I was trying to see if, though a picture wouldn't really help our listeners, but
that's okay. But you did get a variety of flowers,
and then
did you have
some things to stuff with them?
Did you have any particular type of theme when you put them together? Like 1 rose, 3 carnations. They all look the same, or they're unique?
No, they were all unique. I think that was the idea, was to to get them all different.
Okay. What happened to the flowers after the wedding?
I believe the zoo hung on to them.
Oh, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So you had some happy, some happy critters out there.
We let the guests take home.
That's what I was kind of getting at. So they can take whatever they want to as well.
Right.
That's nice. One of the things when you have cut flowers, ladies and gentlemen, is that you can extend the flower life by taking an aspirin, of all things. You take an aspirin, throw an aspirin in the water, and then you make sure that you do it. Another little trick is that when you end up getting the flowers, before you do your final cut on there, take them and submerge the flower, just the stem, in water. Now, you don't need any scuba gear or anything like that, just the end, cut it underwater, and then what will happen is that it'll kind of slurp up right inside the bottom of the plant and slurp it up into the thing, because you see, your plant doesn't know that it's dead. It doesn't know that it doesn't have a root system any longer. It's trying to find nutrients. So what it's going to do, it's going to take it from the leaves and from the flower, and that's what ends up messing around here.
Yeah, it's fine. So we laid out all the baby's breath and the different greenery on the tables, and then we would kind of put them all together.
Look at that. You had a regular flower party.
It was very fun.
Good for you. All right, we're having ourselves a little garden party over here. This is Nick Federoff. 1-800-405-NICK is our telephone number. And then we'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Oh, good for you. That's fun.
Our listeners might like, I don't know.
Hey neighbor, get some sod put in? Yeah, it's Marathon. Yeah, that's what I got, but yours looks so much greener and thicker than mine. What's going on? I'm gonna call the growers.
Southland Sod Farms, may I help you?
My Marathon sod doesn't look as good as my neighbor's.
Are you sure yours is Marathon?
That's what I asked for.
Let me do a computer search. You don't have a record of your delivery. You didn't get genuine Marathon sod.
What do you mean?
Sometimes unscrupulous contractors, retailers, and other sod farms need you to think they're selling Marathon, but then substitute a lesser brand.
That really teased me off. How could I have known I got a cheap imitation?
Look for the bold, genuine Marathon label on the sod pallets when they're delivered.
Don't get cheated. Look for the genuine Marathon sod logo displayed by nurseries and landscape contractors at the yellow pages. Or call 1-800-4-MARATHON for a free do-it-yourself video and authorized dealer list. That's 1-800, then Marathon. Or visit the website at www.sod.com.
With containers, there are a couple of things to be aware of. Containers can be heavy and get really hot. A solution I found is the Big Bag Bed.
We had no idea what it was going to look like.
They're lightweight. No, really. Anyone from 3 to 93 can pick one up because they're made from an irrigation fabric wholesale nurseries have been using for years. And they breathe, which is an important factor in developing stronger roots. Traditional containers don't do that. Grow this year's garden in a Big Bag Bed by Smart Pots. Found at your local nursery garden center and online at smartpots.com.
You drink it? Cook with it? It's there every time you turn on the faucet. But what do you really know about your tap water? Do you know where it comes from and what's in it? You should. And now you can. Your water supplier will soon be sending you a short new report about your water. Look for it in the mail. And when it comes, read it. Don't let this chance to learn about your drinking water go down the drain. Learn more by calling your water supplier or 1-877-EPA-WATER.
Whole process. How long
Do you know the value of your property is directly influenced by your landscape? It's called curb appeal. Poor curb appeal or a bad landscape devalues your property, makes it worth less than it could be. But a pristine landscape can increase the value of your property 20, 30% or more. It'll behoove you to have America's most listened to garden expert and master gardener Nick Federoff evaluate your landscape. He'll offer an in-depth analysis on how to plan, improve, or change your landscape within your budget. He's also available to consult with your landscape architect, contractor, and gardener. Use Nick as a personal liaison to help you make the right decisions. For a landscape consultation to increase your curb appeal, call Nick's office at 562-945-6469. That's 562-945-6469. 562-945-6469.
Well, so for the ceremony, I found some guitar music that I like. That was
It's easy to take your world for granted. Most days go by without a whole lot of surprises. But what if a disaster strikes without warning?
And then a DJ did the.
What if life, as you know it, is completely turned on its head? What if everything familiar becomes anything fun? Would you be prepared? Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed. Today, learn how at www.ready.gov. Ready.gov. This message brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Ad Council.
Today's program is brought to you in part by Bonide. Ask for Bonide products by name at your local nursery or garden center and visit online at bonide.com.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Nick Federoff on gardening. Thank you very much. Coming from the thingsgreen.com Botanical Gardens. I have an in-studio guest today. It's sure nice to have a smiley face over here and sharing your life and your gardening experience with us.
Yes, it's great to be here.
Well, let me ask you this. Being a newlywed, are there dreams, hopes, and aspirations of having a place that has a vast garden?
Well, I would love to. I should listen to your show more because I am not really a green thumb, which is kind of funny, but I do appreciate it though. Mm-hmm. So I hope one day my husband is much better at it than I am, but I'm hoping that, I'm learning so much, even just being in the job that I'm in and talking to people in the industry, that maybe I will try my hand at it once more, but I would certainly love to have a garden.
Well, being that you're the editor-in-chief of
Irrigation Green Industry,
it is you're going to come across some technology that's pretty fascinating. I had somebody write to me, and I probably could find it real quick here on my computer. Had somebody write to me recently about are there any challenges? He says, let's see if I could remember it. He says, I live in an area where we have water restrictions, and I want to be able to use gray water. What am I up against? And that technology is just amazing. Do you know anything about that?
Even since I've been with the magazine, we've done an article on gray water and how to capture it, the right and wrong way to do it, and then to apply it to your plants and how to do that. We've also, in our issue coming up, have an article on reusing water and, kind of give you 5 different tips for how to do that. I keep banging the table.
Yeah,
I get so excited. I'm a very animated person.
Tell me about it. Yeah, I know.
So anyways, so yeah, it's a very big thing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's growing.
Yeah, it is growing. A lot of people have to understand that many cities do not allow you to use gray water, so you have to find out from your local municipality whether you're allowed to do that. And then if you are allowed to do that, you have a small window in when you can do it without stinking up the neighborhood and killing all your plants. And that's typically within 24 hours, gray water will start to stench on you.
I've heard that. I've not smelled it, thankfully.
Oh, it's bad. It's bad. There's if you go to my website, thingsgreen.com, there's, I could find it real quick. I'll find it. I did an interview a couple of years ago with a company, and this is who I recommended the guy to. Interesting thing, there's a company that has this gizmo, which is about the size of an air conditioning unit, and they had a couple of different versions. They have a version that goes outside, they have a version that goes underneath your house, a different version that goes in the eave of your house. And what it does is that it collects your gray water, and then it puts it through a filtration system, and then it filters it down so much it becomes potable.
Wow, that's great.
You could drink the water.
Wow.
I don't know if I would want to do that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not so sure either.
Oh, this is kind of cool. I'm doing something right now. I am in a process for filming a TV series. It's called The Things Green House. And it's a net zero energy efficient home. and it's just a little granny house, little tiny 638 square foot home with an 800-foot garage attached to it. So the garage is bigger than the house. But anyway, what's really cool about this is that everything is energy efficient. So once this all thing is done, in fact, we're even using clean solar power for all the electricity to even build the darn thing. And special construction. Oh yeah. It's sustainability at its best. Have a bunch of great key players that are going to be involved with this thing, and so looking forward to it. One of the things that we may want to put this inside your magazine one of these days, because it could be a great add-on for a contractor to get involved with, whether it's an irrigation contractor or a landscape contractor. I'm excited to use it because being that we still have to understand we may or may not be in a drought, but I think we should always think that we're in a drought. And one way to recycle not only our gray water, but to recycle our black water as well. Now, for those of you who don't know, black water is potty water. That's what it is. So what this is a system that goes into the ground, kind of like a sump tank. And I would imagine where you grew up, you knew all about those, right? So you have a tank that's in the ground that collects all of your wastewater. This tank then filters all of that and separates the hard waste into one part of the tank, and the liquids go into another tank. Then it gets filtered even further to make that waste, all of the gray water, all of the black water, into potable water. Now, there's no way on this earth I will ever drink that water, but we're going to recycle it and use it for the landscape plants.
Well, that's interesting. It also reminds me of another technology. I don't know if you do anything with composting, but there's also something called anaerobic digestion, where I know that they can take wastewater and capture the methane that's coming off of that and actually use that for energy.
Wow, modern technology, huh? Yeah. So we're going to keep all the cows around then.
Yeah. I mean, if you can produce biogas from what all the methane they're producing, it's actually pretty energy efficient if you can capture that.
Yeah. I can see us going in that direction. That it's amazing how people come up with these ideas, they think, ponder, and then they put them into action. That's what's really cool. Have you ever heard of oil-eating microbes?
I think I have, but I don't know much about them.
Yeah, what they are is that they're little tiny beasties, microbial, we'll call them insects, for lack of better words. That's kind of what they are, but they're not visible to the naked eye, and they're encapsulated and they're kept dormant in a vermiculite-like material. And when they hit water, the vermiculite expands, releases these things, and then they wake up. They kind of like hatch or wake up, and the only thing that they eat is oil. So they'll come through and they'll eat the oil like on your driveway. So they eat the oil on your driveway, and then all you do is wash it away. Now, you're not going to do anything to the environment because it's not going to, they only eat the oil. So after they don't have any oil for a very short period of time, these microbes die.
Wow.
So what they're doing is that they're using these microbes as well for using oil spills, inside oil spills. So they dump them into the oil spills, they eat it, and it's pretty fascinating stuff. And I believe the reason why they're not so popular with the oil spills, they do use them, is because the salt water kills them.
Oh.
So regardless, all of our sewer water usually ends up inside, sewer water meaning from the streets, that water, stormwater, that usually ends up in the ocean. And if the salt kills them after a certain period of time, it's almost kind of like a win-win. And if they don't die, you know what's going to happen? You get these storm drains that are really clean, which is really cool. All right, you're listening to Nick Federoff. I have Kristin Smith-Ely with me today, and she's kind of visiting with me. We're just kind of chatting over here. So we'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere. So raise your hand if you feel it.
That's how I feel. Yeah, it's a bit of a sore subject, actually. Why do you have to bring that up? I was forgetting about it.
Doesn't surprise you, huh?
Well, that might be a little tough. Business person.
Oh.
No, it's okay.
Nothing. Increase your local, national, or worldwide sales by advertising right here on Adrenaline Radio. We have a sales rep that can custom tailor a campaign that will benefit both you and your business. Call 562-945-6469 before your competition does. That's 562-945-6469. Yeah, adrenalineradio.com.
Oh my gosh, wow.
If roses are the language of love, and you can't even manage a handshake, then you need the DVD video called How to Prune and Care for Roses. In 30 minutes, you'll see and learn how to prune your roses in winter, spring, summer, and fall. Plus, you'll find out the secrets how to grow large flowers and how to get rid of horrible little insects without using harsh chemicals. Through the internet, this DVD is $29.95. If you call 1-800-9-NEW-YARD, that's 1-800-9, then spell out New Yard, you'll get a special price reduction of $10. I'm not kidding. For only $19.95, you can get the DVD video How to Prune and Care for Roses at an incredible savings. But you have to call now. We have local schools and landscape classes that use this same DVD for classroom instruction. To go to a seminar on the same subject, you'll pay upwards of $80 to $90. But if you call right now, you can get this popular DVD video filmed at a famous rose garden for only $19.95. That's a $10 savings. Call 1-800-9, then spell out New Yard. 1-800-9-NEW-YARD. 1-800-963-9927 to begin growing bigger, better, stronger roses than you ever thought imaginable. But you have to call 1-800-9-NEW-YARD right now.
Talk about having too much time on your hands. The greatest distance walked by a person continuously balancing a full pint of milk on his head is 61 miles by a homer from New York. Figures. It took him 15 hours, 2 minutes to complete the walk. How far can he get if he put a cow on his head? And that's news you can use here from AdrenalinRadio.com. You're logged on, so you might as well call. We dare you.
You same thing, relatively healthy.
Hey, those fruits and vegetables are looking really good. Problem is, they're looking good for birds, too. This is Nick Federoff with today's Things Green Garden Minute. I'm all for allowing people to glean 10% off of your plants. I'm all for birds and other critters to glean 10% off of your plants. But more than that is downright mean. And with that in mind, you may want to consider netting your plants. Now, what this is by taking...
Here it is right here.
What's your going rate?
Half inch up to 2 inches, and you literally...
I can talk about myself. There ain't no race.
Other large critter that wants to get into your fruits and vegetables will have a much more difficult time in doing so. You may also want to take and put shiny objects like Christmas tree ornaments in the trees. This way, the shininess will also ward them off. I'm Nick Federoff. Today's ThingsGreen.com Garden Minute.
All right, we are back over here with our guest, Kristin Smith-Ely, and and I made her cry just now. She's in tears, but it's tears of happiness because you got married.
You know what? That is exactly right. Well, you know what's so funny now that you mentioned that? I was so happy on my wedding day that I didn't cry once. Not even cry from happiness. I mean, I was just tickled the whole day.
Wow. Now, me,
I'm sure other people were, blubbering.
For me, you just, the Bambi scene, I cry. I'm such a crybaby. It's ridiculous.
Well, I normally am. It was just something about that day.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Thinking, wow, she's so calloused. Not even crying on her.
Right.
But that's how people would take something like that. But good. So you had this wedding at the zoo. You had all the flowers. I think that flower thing is just amazing. When you end up getting a place to where you're settled, because I know you've got school that's going on with your husband and your work and stuff like that. Let's say you had this utopia place to garden. What kind of things would you like to grow?
Ooh. Lots of flowers.
Lots of flowers? Okay. You like vegetables?
I do.
You do vegetables?
Yeah. I've never grown any vegetables, though.
And that's okay, because either have I, but I'll give you a lot of advice on them.
Oh, okay.
Really, actually, after the show, we'll go downstairs to the thingsgreen.com botanical gardens over here, and I can show. We actually have gardens. We grow vegetables here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Just for fun.
So I really do like lilies, though.
Oh, okay. Okay, easy plant to grow.
Yeah. I've been places where the orange daylilies, I think, they're just such. I just love that pop of orange. So pretty.
Yeah. Daylilies daylilies are edible. It is so cool. Surprise your husband with this one. Check this out. Of course, you always want to do everything as organically as possible, because we don't want anybody's eyeballs falling out or anything like that, body parts falling off when you make anything out of plants. But you want to use plants that have not been that have never had any chemicals on them. Pick the daylilies. Now, the daylilies can be eaten in two different fashions. In fact, I love doing this around here. I have some daylilies outside over here at the studio, and I'll be talking to somebody, especially when there's a lot of flowers on there, and I'll intentionally make it so that they see me looking and gazing at the flowers. I'll pick a flower off and I'll start eating it in front of them. They freak out every single time. And daylilies, the open flowers, have a sweet taste to them.
Really?
Yeah, they have a little sweet taste.
Interesting.
Daylilies, when they're small and when they're not open yet, they're kind of like little long capsules. They have a peppery flavor to them. Very good. Very good.
I just don't know if I could do it. I've never eaten a flower before.
Oh, no. Oh, you don't want to eat too many of them because they become diuretics. But using, there's a lot of different flowers that you can eat. That right there is a real good. I have a good friend of mine. She's a garden writer. Her name is Kathy Barish Wilkinson. And Kathy, from her book, I gleaned a recipe that I totally stole from her, and she calls them daylily fritters, where you take the Yes. What? This is so cool. So cool. Surprise your husband with this. He's going to think you're nuts and he'll never let you cook again. You're kitchen free for the rest of your life.
Hey, I'm good with that.
So you take the daylily flour and you whop up an egg and you dip it in the egg. Make sure you get the inside, you get the outside, dip it in the egg. And if you want to, you could leave the little green stem on there, but that's not very tasty. So you'll take, but I think you have to leave it because otherwise the flour will fall apart. So you dip it in the egg, and then you get some breadcrumbs. And, you don't even have to make your own breadcrumbs anymore. People take and they get the pre-done breadcrumbs. And then you dip it in the breadcrumbs, and then you fry it. And you hit both sides. Wait till it turns golden brown. You serve them just like that. Uber awesome.
Wow. I mean, you've got a big smile on your face, so I believe you. I'm just a little hesitant.
Awesome. Okay. Now, if you're really into it, you can actually take and dig up the whole plant. You take the roots, wash them, clean them, and dry them out, grind it into a flour. And the Native Americans used to use that as flour. You can also take the leaves and wrap different things with it instead of like using like meat. You know how they take. I'm a vegetarian, so I got to figure out how to. I don't know what it's called. Where you take, and I'm translating from a different language. What's kulipsia? What's it called? Okay, it's cabbage, but it's meat stuffed cabbage. You ever had that before?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's that called in English?
Pigs in a blanket.
Pigs in a blanket? Really? Really?
Really?
No.
That is totally what that is.
I've never heard that before.
No?
You take cabbage and you put meat inside of it?
And it's called pigs in a blanket.
That's called pigs in a blanket? Oh my goodness, I had no idea. I had no idea. Really? I just learned something. Oh, that's funny. I'm kosher too. Okay. So that's just not part of my vernacular. So anyway, instead of doing that, you use the daylily leaves.
Oh,
and you can do that. And you can do that. I've never eaten a daylily leaf, so I don't know what that tastes like. I've eaten the roots before, but they were just nonsense. That's why I think when they take them and they would make flour out of it. The flour is a really good thing to do. There's a lot of other flowers that are really good, and especially if you want to make an impression. I mean, your husband's going to be a lawyer here pretty soon, so he'll have people over if you want to do something that's really high class and really different. What we're going to do is that after the break, I'll share with you a couple of little things that you can do that will really impress your guests.
Okay.
I'm
intrigued.
Yeah. and it's really, really kind of fun to do it as well. That's the best part about it. People are going to go, wow, look at that. We better pay him more money.
Okay, I like that.
All right, this is Nick Federoff, and I've got Kristin with me, and we are visiting over here, and we're talking gardening landscape. And when I come back, you may want to get your pen and paper out because I am going to give you a recipe for a couple of different things if I get to them, and it is so neat. They're great for parties. It's awesome to take to people's house as a housewarming gift, or if you're it's a BYOB kind of a party, bring your own food party or whatever you call it. Pigs in a blanket? Are you serious?
I'm serious.
I have no idea. We'll be back right after this. You're not kidding me, are you? That's
a real thing.
That's what you call that. I thought pigs in a blanket were like a hot dog or something. I had no idea.
Who said that?
What I did is I was
what are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
Well, what are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. Don't you remember me? Don't you know that we miss you?
Miss me? Who misses me?
You know, all your friends in the forest. The trees, the pond, that little fort that you made out of magic. We all miss you.
Maybe I do have it wrong. Maybe I do have it wrong. That's okay.
Long time to get here. The forest is not that far away.
Not the end of the world. So much for your absolutely cutest thing.
Plant puddles, catch frogs, and climb trees. Hey, Mom!
Yeah?
Steven,
Oh, you want to hear my Pennsylvania story? I gotta tell you this. Get this.
Told me we need to get out of the house and have some fun in nature today.
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you live. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Kenny Chesney for RAM. There are a lot of things we have no control of in life, but that doesn't include drunk driving. Be smart. If you drink, don't drive. Think ahead and choose the designated driver. Remember, music lives and so should you.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
And there's a headstone.
Can you guess what an invaluable tool in the yard and garden is, but you only use it maybe once or twice a year? This is Nick Federoff with today's Things Green Garden Minute. One garden tool that we happen to possibly take advantage of is the common ladder. With that, You have to make sure you're taking care of it properly. You see, ladders are the kind of tool that you may put in the backyard, expose it to weather, and then when you need it, you expect it to work properly. Before climbing the ladder, always check to make sure that there's no damage. The rungs are nice and sturdy, and there's nothing cracked on it. You can take a wooden ladder, for instance, and lay it flat on the ground and walk on the rungs. It's the safest way to find out if there's any weak ones. And if there are, throw the ladder away and get another one. Oh, and never paint a wooden ladder, because paint will hide rot and damage. You want to protect your wood ladder with varnish instead. This is Nick Federoff with today's thingsgreen.com Garden Minute.
We have a pretty good idea who are I bet you didn't know in New York City there's a park, and it's called Federoff Park.
I did not know that.
Yeah. It's about half the size of this room. It's a triangle-shaped piece of property, so there's 3 streets. Mm-hmm. Has 1 tree, a trash can, and a bench on it.
Oh, that sounds really lovely.
Yeah. I drove by it one time. I was embarrassed to stop because it was so dirty. It was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Okay. Get your pens and papers out, folks. We are going to give this newlywed over here an idea of what in the world she can do to spice up that dinner of hers, okay? Roses are edible.
Oh, I thought you were going to say are red, and then give the rest of the poem.
No. I don't know that one. So roses are red, but actually there are a lot of colors. But red roses, in particular, the Mr. Lincoln rose, is probably one of the most fragrant roses and deep red roses you can get. Another one is a very fragrant rose is the Double Delight. And these are now non-patented roses, so they're very inexpensive to buy them, and you can grow them, put them in full sun, get 68 hours of sunlight. Booyah, you're going to get flowers off them. Anyway, the darker the flower, the better. You could do this also with pansies. Pansies are edible, as are violas. So what you want to do is get yourself a cube of butter, and you want to soften it. Then you take your rose petals and you cut them up, kind of slice and dice them up and chop them. You put it in and you mix it in with the butter. Then you take this butter mixture and then you put it in a piping. Piping for cake piping.
Sure. I think I got one of those for my wedding.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then what you do is you take and you put it on wax paper, and then you'll take and you'll make little dots or little tiny flowers of these things. Now, before you actually do all this, it's best that you allow this to sit in the well, actually, you don't have to let it sit. The second recipe is sitting. So this one is like this. So anyways, you put that in there. And then what you do is that you put them in the freezer. So you freeze them. And then once they're frozen, you could then take them and put them in a little Tupperware thing and put a layer of them, and then put a layer down, put another layer of the wax paper so they don't stick together. And then when you end up going someplace, you could just get a little tiny party plate or something like that you can throw away and put these little things on there. By the time wherever you're at, they're softened. Oh. And then you're going to have dinner with somebody or something like that at their home. They could take these little things, smother them on their bread. It's the aftertaste more than the taste itself. It will be flowery, a flower-like, not flour, F-L-O-U-R, right. The other kind of flower. But you have that rose scent that just kind of just permeates through you. It is awesome. So cool. Now, you could do the same thing by making a dip. This dip is just so cool. You'll take and you'll use plain yogurt. So you use a cup of plain yogurt. Use a cup of whipped sour cream, whipped cottage cheese. It's richer. It's actually richer than sour cream because your yogurt's already sour. So this is going to kind of offset that a little bit. And then you take a cup of chopped up flowers. In particular, the darker the flour, I'm not kidding. The darker the flour, the better it is. And then you mix it all together
Now this one, after you put it in a refrigerator, you want to wait 2 or 3 hours.
Okay.
And the reason being is because it's going to meld into this mixture, and the flavor of the flour is going to just wake up that yogurt and that cottage cheese that you pureed. You put it all together. Oh my goodness!
Wow. And what do you use to dip in there?
Just other vegetables.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Any other kind of vegetables? Yeah. And again, the essence of the smell of flour that comes afterwards is, I don't know, maybe it's because I got a big old beard. I don't know, but it just really kind of permeates through, and it really heightens the senses. And yeah, there you go, lady. That's 3 recipes I gave you, and they're super simple. That's the best part.
Okay.
Absolutely the best part. You don't want to use. You do want to use flours again that aren't that have any kind of chemicals on them, any systemics or stuff like that. But
well, it'd be such a neat idea for someone who is growing, who's growing these things, just to be able to go pick it out from their garden and put it in something. I think it just adds, a little special touch to what they're making.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're sensitive to chemicals, do it. Right. Grow them as organic. Grow them
right.
It's just it's just that simple. But it's really a fun thing. It's super fun to do. It's easy to do. You could do it with kids. You could do it with yourself. You could make it. And the best part is that it's a great conversation piece. That's what I like. So, anyway, I've been doing this show for so many years. I don't even remember when the breaks are. Oh. It's the honest to goodness truth. It's horrible. But anyway, so that's something that you can add to things. Another thing is that rose hips, actual rose hips, you harvest those in like September, October, when the flower has faded off and they turn round. You have the rose hips. The rose hip is part where the flower comes out. When it turns round, it turns kind of orangey. They could turn orange to red. Cut it open, slice out, take out all the seeds that are inside. You can actually grow the seeds into roses, and each seed will be a different color. That's how they hybridize.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, it is. And then you peel them, and then you could dry those and use those for tea. Rose hips, each rose hip has more vitamin C than an orange does.
I did not know that.
They brought roses when they came to the new country from the old world, so they could fight off scurvy. This is Nick Federoff, and Kristin is hanging with me. We'll be back right after this. Lots of information there, huh?
Yes, good.
And today, that's lightning fast. So when you get your hands on the latest tech, don't forget to do the right thing with your old devices. Recycle. The Consumer Electronics Association and its members are making recycling your old tech device as easy as purchasing new ones. Just go to greenergadgets.org, type in your zip code, and you'll instantly find the responsible recycling location closest to your home. You'll also find lots of tips to simplify your recycling, like asking the store where you buy your new TV if they'll haul away your old one. Television sets, video game consoles, smartphones, tablets. They're all recyclable. Don't let them clog up your local landfill. Just visit greenergadgets.org. You're sharp enough to get the latest tech tools into your home. Now be responsible enough to get your old devices to the recycler. That's greenergadgets.org.
Are you tired of pulling those persistent, unwanted weeds that continue to grow through the cracks in your sidewalk and patio, or even your favorite flower and shrubbery beds? I have the answer. Bonide Clean Up Weed and Grass Killer. Clean Up Weed and Grass Killer kills all unwanted weeds, grasses, and other plants to the root. The systemic action ensures that unwanted plants do not regrow. Results can be seen in as little as a few days. Cleanup is great for preparing flower beds and vegetable gardens for planting. By eliminating the weeds, your vegetables and flowers will get off to a better start. If you're thinking about renovating that weed-infested lawn area and starting all over again, Cleanup will kill all that you spray it on. Wait 7 days and reseed your lawn to get that picture-perfect lawn you've always wanted. Bonide products are family-made in America. Bonide Cleanup can be found at your neighborhood lawn and garden retailer or go to bonide.com for a retailer near you.
So I guess,
Hey, check it out. Nick Federoff on gardening is giving away free stuff just for asking him a gardening question on the air. What a goof. Pick up the telephone right now, Daffodil Breath, and pose a question to the gardening guru himself. The toll-free number to call is so simple, I can't even remember it. It's 1-800-405-NICK. How vague. Other than the call, all you have to do is pick up your free stuff, courtesy of Nick Federoff on gardening. And if no one is around when you call, leave a message anyway, aphid kid, and they'll call you back when he's live on the air. Did you remember that number? I sure did. It's 1-800-405-Nick Federoff on gardening. It's sweet.
And we don't sell the names or anything like that. You would think all right, we're back over here. Kristin.
Nick.
Look at the time.
Hey.
It's over.
Oh, my goodness.
It is over. Did it really drag on like you said it did?
All that fun. It felt like 5 minutes.
It sure does. Well, I want to thank you very much for joining us and being a part of the show today. It was a lot of fun having you here.
It was my pleasure. I was so thrilled when you asked me.
And I so look forward to seeing the things that you're going to be doing with the magazine. And, of course, that is the
Irrigation and Green Industry magazine.
You like the way I do that, huh?
IGIN.com is the website. I knew that was the next question.
So the idea here is what we want to do is we want to let everybody know that your landscaper, your irrigation technician, your arborist, your green industry professional really needs to keep updated with all of the news and information that is happening in the industry, from continuing education classes to other industry things, if you may. Like, for instance, you were talking about the robotic lawnmowers. You know, they people may not know about that kind of stuff. So if you can urge your green industry professional and students that are interested in this kind of a kind of a business or career, then this is a really good place for them to go to, because the articles are not contrite. They're not speaking over a person's head. You know what? Listen to the show that I did a couple of weeks ago, folks. And in the beginning, I read to you the things that I go through, the scientific papers that I go through, and I take them and I turn them into regular everyday language. These folks do the same exact thing, because you don't want people talking over your head, and that's not the whole idea here. It's about instructing and teaching.
And we actually talk to people in the industry. You know, we talk to landscape contractors and get their comments and ideas and put those in the magazine.
Yeah, that's really exciting stuff. So I really appreciate that. So much success, Editor-in-Chief. I feel like I have to take and salute you or something like that.
No.
So when you go into the room of other people that you're working with the magazine, do they like bow down to you while you're walking through the halls?
Well, they don't, but I'm going to start asking them to do that.
Yeah. Nice. Well, with that, again, congratulations on your recent marriage.
Oh, thank you.
Much success. Keep that guy in line, I'll tell you that much. Obviously, we're going to feed him at the very least with some butter and yogurt.
Oh, yeah, that's on the dinner table tonight.
Oh, yeah, and daylily fritters, too.
Right.
Yeah. You can never have too many. Actually, you can't have too many. Remember, if you're going to do the flowers, they can be a little bit, you can't eat too much of them. Let's just put it that way. It wouldn't be a very pleasant experience. Thank you, Kristin.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Nick Federoff. Nick Federoff on gardening. Don't forget to visit me online at thingsgreen.com or become a Facebook friend. And remember, whenever out in the yard and garden, green side up at 1-800-405 Nick Federoff on gardening.
All right, thanks a lot, folks. See you next time.